Well, I'm just going to improvise because I've actually been listening in very well this afternoon. And first, really, is to thank the Lagos State Office of the Special Advisor on Taxation and Revenue for being very audacious and putting this together. Let me acknowledge very warmly my very good friend and brother who, for the last 30 or 45 minutes, has taken us through the ABC of revenue generation and revenue optimization, Dr. Armstrong, who is representing the Honorable Minister for Finance. Thank you very much for making our time to be here. I also understand that there's a representative, from the Chief Judge. Thank you very much for coming. I'm aware that there's the chairman of House Committee on Finance or representative from the Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you very much. Cabinet members, we cannot begin to thank you, but really just to thank all of our captives of industry, all of our other various stakeholders in the revenue space. Thank you very much for coming out to hear us, the chairman of our own LIRS, other top government officials. Thank you very much. So I have actually been listening in, but the technology, which is supposed to be one of the strong driving force, have not helped us very well. We've moved from Teams to Zoom, back to Teams, back to Zoom. So just that I can I can sit in and listen in into this conversation. But have his prepared speech really doesn't make sense to me any longer. I quite frankly just want to respond fairly to what the representative of the Honorable Minister said, the managing director of Ministry of Finance Incorporated, Mr. Armstrong, who I want to thank very much for all of the great points that he has put forward this afternoon. I listen and I take note of even how he started, the relationship with the current minister, but more importantly, with Mr. President, when revenue in Lagos had to be optimized way back from 2002 and 2003. And he had explained, all of the great works that were done then. I want to thank him for bringing us to that long line of history. But I think I just want to use this opportunity, to say that what we're about is about ensuring that we all can come together. We don't know it all. We don't have every of the boxes ticked yet, but we know that as stakeholders, both on the government side and on the private sector side, we all can, today, tomorrow, ventilate ideas, suggestions, and have conversation as into how we can, not just for revenue, how we can just optimize one on the revenue side, but more importantly, also services. How can we use revenue generation as one of the strong driving tool, for advancing governance, to be a bit more not only accountable, but also work more for its citizens. I hear, Dr. Armstrong talked about the percentage of where our GDP is to the federation, and he's right. Lagos sits on between 25 to 35, depending on what rate you're using. To be as a percentage of what Lagos needs to be doing and what Lagos contributes, actually into the GDP, of the country. And you mentioned the fact that if it is 35%, so in essence, we truly really should be doing about 10 to 12 trillion, budget size population. So our 3.05 trillion, in my view too, is not enough for us to celebrate. But what I want to explain to him and to the audience is, quite frankly, Lagos State budget is typically driven by the capacity of what revenue we can generate. The demands of even this year's budget into next year's budget, which we just finished preparation, shows that indeed we need up to 6.5 to 7 trillion, to meet all of the all of the needs that we've gone around, and for all of the things people are asking us to do. But because we don't have the capacity yet to generate that amount of revenue, we're constricted with the revenue that is available. And why am I saying this? Year on year, we implement our budget to over 90% year on year. This year, clearly, we're going to do between 95 to 100% of the budget that were put forward this year. So you can see that our ability to do more, quite frankly, depends on our ability to earn more. If we can earn more, we can actually implement a lot more. So that's one point. But the real conversation we need to have is to look at the size of the population we need to serve, to look at the amount of challenge and the infrastructural, upgrade that we need to do, and to be able to say to ourselves that as subnational, are we where we should be yet? Yes, if you do a ranking among the 36 states, you can say that Lagos State far, is far ahead of his other state. I'm not sure there's any other state that would have maybe a 1.2 trillion or a 1 trillion budget next year. But we are not going to be measured by that. We want to be measured knowing fully well that what percentage of the business, commercial, economic activity of the country truly resides in Lagos. And one of the things that I want this this retreat, sorry, this 2 day session, this 2 days conference to be able to help us tackle is the power of through federating devolution to the subnational. MD of Mofi will know too well that there's still a lot of things that are concentrated at the central. There's still a lot of things that are kept with the central government, and some of the things that are also affecting the ability for the subnationals to perform beyond payee, which is one of the major taxes that is available. There's really no other one. The VAT that we all are talking about, we know what is happening. Lagos generates between 40 to 50% of the VAT collectible in the federation, but at the end of the day, we get less than 10% of it by the time we get the proceeds from the federation. So these are some of the things that is hindering our ability. If we also can sit and enjoy a proper derivation as being done with the oil producing states, then we probably will have a bit more to be able to. But we don't want to give excuses or give reasons whilst the size of budget cannot be what it is. We have been, in the last 4 or 5 years, we've been using a lot of creative financing, blended funding, blended fundraising, to be able to meet some of the major high profile infrastructure that we've been supporting the state with, and that we've been implementing, in the last couple of years. One will be, for example, the rail projects, the two rail projects, which Dr. Armstrong should know about, we've delivered to. We're working with them on delivering the third one, and we're planning on the fourth one. There is no subnational anywhere that will be able to do end to end any form of rail, rail infrastructure. So we know that the need for us in that corridor is important, is real. But I believe that these are some of the things that this conversation, this revenue summit is supposed to help us, achieve today, and tomorrow. We also know that, the size, if we measure the size of Lagos with the size of the economy of Lagos, then we're not also fair, because there's a whole lot of, wealthy Lagosians who are also, passing on all of their earnings, to the central government, which also we probably just are on the short end, of it. But like I said, it's not a conference where we're meant to give excuses. It should be a conference where we should acknowledge, this little effort that we currently have. We should seek to interact with all of you, to seek, ways in which this can be improved upon, ask difficult questions, analyze what needs to be done, what level of technology needs to be done, what amount of revenue assurance, in terms of no revenue leakages and rest of it, that Lagos State needs to be. We've strengthened that considerably. But what additional, level of revenue assurance do we need to put on the table, and how do we make government also accountable, even for whatever little resource that it's been able to generate? I think these are some of the conversations, that will come out today and tomorrow. We know too well that Lagos is also very specially positioned, where we know that the stock exchange is here, and all of the major, exchanges are here in Lagos, but they are all, organizations that are also regulated, by the federal government. So there is a little in which we can play, and we don't have the sovereign capacity to be able to fully leverage the opportunity that is available to us. What do I mean? We have a sustainability, indices that has been set by DMO, that we certainly cannot um, go beyond, that we certainly cannot exceed. Even if we show capacity that we want to do more, but we because we're subnational, we still continue to, remain as safe. There are few reforms that we will want to do, very quickly, in terms of ensuring that the ease of doing business is faster and quicker. Unfortunately, also some of these things are centrally controlled with, maybe the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, or with the Ministry, of Foreign Affairs, or even Internal Affairs, that we really don't have control over. So these are some of the conversations. These are some of the red tapes that I believe this summit will also help us identify with, and we will go back to federal government with a shopping list, with the likes of, Dr. Armstrong, who is on our side. We believe we'll be able to, we'll be able to do things, quicker and faster, from both sides. It's unfortunate that I'm not there with you physically, but I can assure you that whatever will be the outcomes of this summit will be some of the driving force that we will use, to enhance and to improve, our revenue capability, our revenue generation next year and the years, after. So I really just want all of you to sit back, relax, engage yourself actively. Let us remove all the gloves. Let us speak truthfully. Let us, open the conversation on. Let Lagos State officials be able to soak them in, without given, reasons or excuses why we have not done well, or we're doing well, we can do better. And let us be able to leave this place, better informed on both sides, that these are, the action points and the action plans that we need to take forward to be able, to have a full opportunity that this summit has presented to us. Once again, I really want to thank all of you, that has created the time to be with us there. I want to commend, the special advisor, taxation and revenue, Honorable Ogumbo, who really has been committed, to ensure that this summit, the first of its type, start up. We're also doing a lot of revenue, monitoring, on the side of Lagos, which is some of the responsibility that he has oversight on. To commend also the Minister of Finance and all the other related agencies, to say that, like we've seen, we're not there yet. There's still a lot of opportunity. There's still a lot that we can do. There's a lot of, enhancement that we can do. We're not about multiple taxation. We're about ensuring that what is fair, what is due, to government is paid, and we want to assure all of our stakeholders that this government will continue to remain accountable, will continue to remain responsive and responsible, and will continue to ensure that, the decisions and the deliverables we are meant to do this year will not delay it for next year or the year after. We will be time short, we'll be timely, and we'll be committed, at all times. So I want to thank you very much, and I wish the summit the very best. And I'll be looking forward to all of the recommendations that will be coming out at the end of this 2-day summit. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.